Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Davila and welcome back to Save Our System IT. Today we'll continue part 7 of our Busybox series. Find searches the directory tree rooted at each given file name by evaluating the given expression from left to right, according to the rules of precedence until the outcome is known, meaning that the left-hand side is false for AND operations and true for OR operations, at which point find moves on to the next file name. The first argument that begins with hyphen, open bracket, close bracket, comma or exclamation mark is taken to be the beginning of the expression. Any arguments before it are passed to search, and any arguments after it are the rest of the expression. If no paths are given, the current directory is used. If no expression is given, the expression print is used. Find exits with the status 0 if all files are processed successfully and greater than 0 if errors occur. The expression is made out of options, which affect overall operations rather than the processing of a specific file, and always return true. Tests, which return a true or false value, and actions which have side effects and return a true or false value, all separated by operators. AND is assumed where the operator is omitted. If the expression contains no actions other than prune, print is performed on all files for which the expression is true. Fold wraps each line of input text to fit a specific line width. The input may come from a file or several files, or if no files are specified, from the standard input. All the output is sent to standard out. The default column width is 80 characters, but we can change that using the -w option. The free command displays the total amount of free and used physical and swap memory in the system, as well as the buffers used by the kernel. Running free with no options will display a memory chart. When using the free command, the two important lines are the -/+ buffer/cache line and the swap line. If you want to get a good idea on how much free memory is available, the free section in the buffers/cache is what you should be reading. Linux will keep the contents of memory in the buffers to help having to access the same data over and over from the slower disk drive. If your buffers/cache free memory is low or your swap free memory is low, a memory upgrade is necessary. The Freeramdisk command has a name that leaves little space for ambiguity. It receives as an argument a RAM disk device and it clears it, meaning that it drops all the data that the RAM disk device may have. Now, what is a RAM disk device? A RAM disk is a portion of RAM that is used in such a way that it imitates a disk drive. RAM disks have physical sizes and act like a regular disk partition, but the reading time is a lot faster than that of physical disks. Although any data stored on a RAM disk is lost the moment the machine is rebooted, so it's only useful as storing temporary data. fstrim is used on a mounted file system to discard or trim blocks which are not in use by the file system. This is useful for solid-state drives and thinly provisioned storage. By default, fstrim will discard all unused blocks in the file system. Options may be used to modify this behavior based on range or size. The mount point argument is the path name of the directory where the file system is mounted. Running fstrim frequently or even using mount-o discard might negatively affect the lifetime of a poor quality SSD device. For most desktop and server systems, a sufficient trimming frequency is once a week. Note that not all devices support a queued trim, so each trim command incurs a performance penalty on whatever else might be trying to use the disk at the time. FTP is the user interface to the ARPANET standard file transfer protocol. It can be used to transfer files to and from a remote network. The client host and an optional port number with which FTP is to communicate may be specified on the command line. If this is done, FTP will immediately attempt to establish a connection to an FTP server on that host. Otherwise, FTP will enter its command interpreter and await instructions from the user. When FTP is awaiting commands from the user, the prompt FTP right bracket is provided to the user. The command ftpget in particular is used to extract a file from a remote machine with an FTP server on it to the local host machine. The ftpput command is still an FTP client, only that instead of extracting files from an FTP server, it takes the files offered as arguments from the local host machine and uploads them to the remote server machine. Getopt is used to break up options in command lines for easy parsing by shell procedures and to check for legal options. It uses the GNU getopt routines to do this. The parameters getopt is called with can be divided into two parts: the options which modify the way getopt will parse and the parameters which are to be parsed. The second part will start at the first non-option parameter that is not an option argument, or after the first occurrence of double hyphen. If no -o or double hyphen option is found in the first part, the first parameter of the second part is used as a short option string. If the environment variable getopt compatible is set, or if its first parameter is not an option, meaning that it does not start with a hyphen, getopt will generate output that is compatible with that of other versions of getopt. It will still do parameter shuffling and recognize optional arguments. Traditional implementations of getopt are unable to cope with white space and other shell-specific special characters in arguments and non-option parameters. To solve this problem, this implementation can generate quoted output, which must once again be interpreted by the shell, usually using the eval command. This has the effect of preserving those characters, but you must call getopt in a way that is no longer compatible with other versions. And that's about it for today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Any questions you might have are to be left down in the comment section or on our website www.sosit.co. Again, that's www.sosit.co. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.